Hey, what's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode on Millionaire Conversations, where we are giving you the real strategies that are going to help you grow. What's up? For my people, I am live on Instagram. For my Instagram followers, this will not be saved, so you want to find the replay over on my YouTube channel. That's where you can find it. So today we're going to talk about customer based versus product based type of business models and understanding what is appropriate and best for you and your business to help you scale to where you want to be. So, hey, girl, hey, welcome to the conversation. What's up? Just let me know you're here with me. Say hey. And we'll go from there. Type one on my Facebook if you all can hear me okay. If you can type one, I got my mic on. I just want to make sure it's working all right. All right. So here's some things that you definitely want to definitely know about when it comes to building your product-based business. So when we think about when we go and launch organizations and businesses, we are launching them because we ultimately want to grow. But some of the things that we don't think about right early on in our careers or our businesses and these entrepreneurial endeavors is the type of model that we should use in building our businesses. Okay, so I just want you all to think about that as you are building your product-based business. So let me ask you in the chat, put in the chat, are you your business model, do you use a customer-based approach or do you use a product-based approach? And I am going to talk about the two different ones here in just a moment so that you can see. All right, so we are live. Cool. I just wanted to make sure I was live and active on my social platforms as I should be. That is perfect. All right, so let's compare the two together. Let's just think about this. Let's just compare. So, Starshima, what is a product-based business model? So, a product-based business model, I'm kind of tearing things up. So, a product-based business model within your business is basically you create products, okay, and then you go and look for a customer who needs the product, right? So you do not look at, and when you look at what is a customer based product, is basically you get really good at identifying who is your customer. And then when you identify who is your customer, now you're looking at what do they need, the customer needs, and then you go out and create a product that is geared towards your customer and is solving their problem. So tell me in the chat box, what type of business model do you have? And have you even considered this? Okay. Some people don't consider, but have you considered this as your business, as an approach to when you're building your business? Okay. What does that look like for you? All right. I just need to set some privacy restrictions there. Sometimes Facebook just do not allow you to be great. All right. So looking at that, do you run a product-based business versus a customer-based business? Now, this is a conversation for my coaches. If you are a coach, if you are in the space of the service-based industry, I have a secret for you today. What I teach the women inside of my community is to use a very customer-based approach. And you may say, Starshima, right? Products, I can get a product out there, I can get it sold, and it can just take off. Well, for me, and my magic is helping you build a sustainable personal brand to be able to scale your business brand to the capacity in which it can be scaled to, right? So with that, you have to use a different approach than what some other companies may be using. So when you think about how do I scale my business to millions, how do I earn, right? What do I need to do? And the number one thing that you need to focus on is building a very customer-based business model. Okay. So again, My magic is helping you build a personal brand to be able to scale your business brand. So with that, right, when we build your brand, and tonight on the 3-day challenge is this is some of the content that I talked about. The women who were on the call was using a very customer based approach. So when you build your brand, you get really clear about who you are, right? You get really clear about your purpose, what's your identity, right? You understand your values, your beliefs, your strengths, your weaknesses. All that is all encompassing of your brand. And as a service-based entrepreneur, you're probably running the company that you're running based off of some of the same values that you have. Would you agree? So with that, you're now having an audience, right? And your audience is a person who needs your product and services, right? So you would want to use and understand and get really, really clear about what the needs of your audience is to go and create the offer. So what sometimes happens in business when we first start off, because we're not really clear about it, and myself included, let me just share with you that story. So when I very first started business, I started a very product based approach, right? And I started business some years ago, and I initially started this business and I was dipping treats. You all may have heard about my treat business. Perhaps you all are one who purchased from me in my treat business. I appreciate you, right? And I use a very product based approach. So I didn't look and analyze what did the customer need. What I did was I went and found, okay, here I can dip pretzel sticks, begin to be a product, right? And then I needed to go find the person who needed my pretzel stick. Well, guess what? This increased my competition, right? Because there was other people who were out here who were making dipping pretzel sticks, right? What really set me apart and what really made the person say that they wanted to buy from me versus someone else? And this is where the conversation is. If you really want to scale your company to where you want it to go and really having these millionaire type of conversations, like what are these millionaires doing that I am not doing? How do I get there? Success leave clues. So what they're doing is they are now no longer looking at a product base. Ideally, to be able to scale your company and your service is to do it from a customer base. So let's look at this on the flip side. So instead of me creating something that I don't even know if it's going to sell and who needs it, I get really good at identifying who my audience is. I get really all in their business, right? I get to knowing like what is it that they need? What are the things that they like? What is their financial situation? Like I really become their best friend. And if you worked alongside me, you know I talk to you and I tell you, make your client your best friend. You should be able to finish the words for them, finish their sentences, right? This is how you're going to scale, because the smart business owner like yourself, you're going to say, what do the people need? I only want to create the things that's going to build value to the people who I serve, right? And that's where you have to get really clear that you are not for everybody, and that is okay too, right? But there are some people that you are there that you're designed to help, that you're created to help, that you're on assignment to help, and you must be really, really clear about who those people are and what do I need to create that is going to give them the value that they need or to bring the transformation to them. So we oftentimes go into product generation in a space where we create so much competitions for ourselves and we can compete, to then we see low return on our effort, we're overwhelmed and we're burnt out. But what I see when women use a very customer-based approach to solving their ideal client problems, they um they drive a greater impact and they make more money by doing so, right? That is really, really what they do. So what that looks like with a customer base, okay, I know that I Sue is my ideal client. I get her because I was once Sue, and I am a transformational coach. And Sue has very little confidence within herself. She is a mother. She's put everybody on the back burner. She's put herself on the back burner to cater to everyone else. She's had these big dreams and she's forgot about herself. Okay. So I get Sue. She's a professional. She does all the things. So what Sue needs, I need to go and create for her in my lane of magic. So that may be a way of a program to help her boost her confidence to be able to move forward. But just because you send her with a pretzel stick doesn't mean that that's going to solve Sue's problem. And when you create customer based type products and services based upon what your customer base needs, understanding your ideal audience, then you change your financial landscape, you change your earning ability within your company. The thing that keeps us stuck is we want to work with everybody, even the people who cannot pay us. Okay. Even the people who cannot pay us, we want to work with, and we are getting little to no return on our investment. So when you do this, how do you do it? That may be your question. Well, Starshina, you're saying use a very customer-based approach. Okay. So how do you do it? You want to listen to your audience. One of the big things I teach and one thing that I preach is building connection. Nobody wants to connect anymore. We want to wake up and we want to sell people. We want people to buy, but we don't want to connect to them. We don't want to understand them, right? We just want to sell them. Well, you have to change your approach. You have to get a little bit more savvy in your approach with getting what you want in your end goal, which is driving revenue within your company. So you have to talk to the people who need what you have. I think it's counterproductive to run a company and not be willing to show up and talk to the people, and only want to show up and talk to the people when you are ready to sell them. People are not buying products anymore. It's not about your product any longer. When the market is so vast, when there's so many things that are out here, right? There's a coach on every corner, right? There's a massage therapist on every corner. There's someone selling jewelry up the street. What makes you different? Your ability to be able to connect to them and make them feel like they are a part of your community. So you have to know and question and listen to your customer. What is your customer telling you? And then when you listen to what your customer is telling you, you begin to get this buyer persona, right? This buyer persona allows you to understand like the psychology of your particular buyer, how they buy, what are the things that motivates them to buy, what are the things that deactivates them from buying, right? And then you begin to show up and create content that is going to be around that. Right. So when I come and have these conversations with you around scaling your company, around making more money in your business, we have to start adopting the mindset of treating our businesses no longer like they're hobbies, but start treating our businesses like $1 million type of businesses. Even if you don't see the $1 million revenue hitting your account, how would you ever see the $1 million hit your account if you are not waking up every day and practicing good behaviors and structuring your company in a way that is going to bring in the revenue for your company? That is a big thing, right? Those are the big things that we have to think about. Am I treating my business like a hobby, or am I treating my business like a $1 million company? And starting with that, making sure that I start off with a scalable type of business model and using a very customer-based approach for my service-based individuals. Service-based is those who may be doing med spas, right? Though maybe people who are coaching, the multi-levels of coaching that you're doing. You want to give the people what they need, right? Give the people what they want, give them what they need, and create that layer of transformation. You can find yourself spending tons of money, investing tons of product, trying to find the people to get into it. I much rather work smarter, not harder. I much rather create what the people want and give it to the people. That's the idea. Create what the people want and give it to the people. Don't make it hard for yourself, right? The thing is, we sometimes make it hard for ourselves, right? We sometimes will make it hard for ourselves. So you want to be sure that you're setting yourself up to win. And this is just one small choice, right? One small decision to make in your business, to no longer treat it like a hobby, but to treat it more like a um, millionaire business. So, what business model do you choose? When you understand what is a product based model, what is a customer based model, what works best for you and your company? That's the big decision. Okay. If you like the things that we're talking about here on Millionaire Mondays, don't hesitate to reach out, right? Reach out to me. You can send me an email at info@iamstarshima.com. Let me know what your big takeaway is from listening to these different type of conversations. What is the actionable thing that you're going to put into your business right now? Are you going to shift your mindset to no longer think of your business as a hobby, but thinking about it as $1 million company, right? And putting the things in place that you need to. Do you need to shift your modeling? Is your model at a scalable scale? Okay. Can you scale your company with where you are? Okay. Are you having the competitive advantage? Are you positioning yourself in a market of a category of one? Tonight we had the 3-day challenge, and I was talking to the women about how to position themselves in a category of one, essentially eliminating all competition without changing who they are, but leveraging every bit of them. And it was so much transformation that happened within that call today of women becoming more aware of who they are and us understanding what our magic is. To be able to scale our companies. Some people want to know, what do women in business do? Well, we do these things, right? We make decisions, we decide, we figure out what is the best approach. We try new things, we take risks, we fail, we dust our knees off, we pick back up, and we keep going and making decisions. Valerie Burton, she has a book, and the book is titled Successful Women Think Differently. And in there, she talks about how successful women look for solutions. So if your business is not giving what you want it to give, if your business is not giving what you know it has the potential to give, maybe it's giving, but it's not giving at its maximum potential, these are things that you want to think about, right? And to use a very customer-based approach, it really, really helps when you get really, really clear about your brand. Many times we go to a product-based approach because that's what they tell us to do on Google or YouTube University, because there's some general knowledge, but they omit to tell us about how do we build a brand. And when we build a great personal brand, I'm not talking about your business brand, I'm talking about your personal brand. When you build a good brand and you know who you serve, then your offers become much more strategic. I remember, before I wrap up this, I remember being a very new coach in the market, right? I think I posted a video on my timeline on Facebook of a video from about 4 years ago. And 4 years ago, I was saying that I was a transformation trainer. And I think that was the time when I started off. I was just getting into this space and I was teaching people how to transform their lives, right? And I did that through vision boarding. I took a class. I got really good at being able to bring that layer of transformation before I evolved into a coach. But I really feel like that was my grind time of me trying to convince people of who I am. Now I walk into a room and I enter a space and I show up on social media to deliver pure value. And it's no longer of me trying to position myself as, hey, let me convince you. It's like, hey, I'm here to show up and to give you the knowledge that is going to grow you, to scale you to where you need to be, and you can take it or leave it, right? So we have to get to those spaces within our businesses to be able to show up, give the value, Give the people what they need and keep moving. The people who are for us are for us. The people who are not are not. And maybe they're just not, some just are not here for the moment. But give yourself time to grow in your business. Put in the effort, right? Do the work. So many businesses do not, let me say not so many businesses, because there are businesses that make it. Women owned businesses do not reach the level of scale in which we can make, is because we give up on ourselves, right? Something don't come to fruition, something don't um it's not how we thought that success should look like in our mind. And in that, we begin to question our magic and we don't lean in long enough. So we fail, we fall on our knees, and we sit there and we play hurt, and we don't have the strength to get back up. And that has impacted so many people's success. When the sooner you fall to your knees, the quicker you can dust yourself off and get back up and move forward, is the biggest advantage that you have for yourself. So saying that to say, perhaps you started off with a product-based model and you've been finding yourself making tons of products and trying to find the right product for the people to buy. I challenge you today to start thinking about, based on your brand and all your attributes and what you bring, who is the audience that you serve? What are their true pain points? What are the things that they need? And now go out and create a product that is going to solve that problem really, really well for them, really strategically, and in the shortest amount of time possible. This is what is going to scale your company. All right. Thank you for another conversation here on Millionaire Conversations, Money Making Mondays, giving you real strategies to help you grow your company. And my big takeaway here is, let's stop treating our businesses like hobbies, but let's start treating our businesses like $1 million companies that they are.